Hi guys, how's it going? So today what I'm gonna basically explain is how to sell a complex products. And I've got three things on my mind. And I'll start by saying something that may be controversial, maybe that's unexpected when it comes to selling products that have a lot of features, a lot of benefits. And whether you're in SaaS, whether you're selling the most like basic product in terms of B2C, well, this may be the video for you. And I'm gonna be quite frank with you, right? Unfortunately, and I had to break the news for you, the best way to pitch may not be regurgitating what is that you've learned all at once to your prospects. That is the sad truth, right? One thing that I believe you should do, number one, is when you've know so much about your product and you don't know where to start, and you've got the prospect on your phone or you've got the prospect in front of you, one of the things that you should absolutely do is to ask a question. Like, I know that doesn't sound like we've just discovered how humans can fly. I know. But it is of paramount importance, right? Because if your product or your service does X, Y, Z, blah, 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 what you don't want to do is to tell that to the customer so that they fall asleep, right? What you want to do is to ask a simple question such as, hey, Mr. Prospect, what sort of issues do you have? What sort of challenges do you have? And then you can move on to, okay, it seems that we could help because our product, and then you can go broad, right? Our product does application performance. Our product does unified communication. Our product is helping customers reduce their expenses whilst being more productive. May I ask Mr. Customer, may I ask Mr. Prospect, what is it exactly that you are doing at the moment in order to face that problem? As you get into a conversation, you will know better how to pitch the part of your product or your benefit that is most relevant to the prospect. Don't fall into the trap of talking. Please, I implore you. Now, the second advice I've got for you guys is to set trap setting questions. What do I mean, right? So let's say, for instance, fictitious example, you are selling stationery to big businesses, right? And you've done studies and you know that every employee in a big business, on average, keeps a pencil for 3 months just because they are not durable. They perish or they just get broken, right? That's the statistic you've got, right? So you go and see the prospect and you say, hey, Mr. Prospect, I'd like to understand, further to what I've just explained, how do you make sure that your stationery is well kept after 6 months? The prospect may say something along the lines of, oh, well, we just rebuy it again, more stationery, right? Okay, so this is your opportunity to say that, well, me, at my company, basically, what we make sure, and we don't say that, it's our customers, they tend to use our stationery for over a year just because of the quality of the equipment that we provide, right? Once you pitch, what's gonna happen is that your prospect is gonna tell you things that they are covered with, right? That your technology, that your services may not necessarily, in their eyes, be useful. You know what's unique about your product? That's why you want to position it by asking a question that you could call trap setting question, in the sense that you know that only you, as a provider of services, is able to fix or solve. Last but not least, the third thing I'd say is make sure that you've got your customer's interest at heart, right? You want to provide the best option, so you should let them self-persuade themselves. What do I mean? Well, for instance, if we take again this example of you selling a stationery to customers, well, what you can think of is asking a question such as, hey, how much would it make sense for you, Mr. Prospect, to reduce your operational costs by having durable stationery? Okay. If the prospect says, well, I'm not bothered because actually it's not that much of an expense for us, then you have to respect the choice of your customer, right? You may follow up, but at the end of the day, if you're talking to the right person, then you may be wasting your time. But then if the prospect is convinced that, hey, maybe it makes sense to continue the conversations, then you know that you've got the best interest in his or her interest at heart, and it may be worth continuing the conversation. So please bear in mind those three things. So please bear in mind the number one thing, bear in mind the number two thing, and bear in mind the number three thing. And I guess you've got enough information / ammunition to be prepared for any call whereby you believe you may be challenged by product knowledge. Product knowledge is one thing, it's important, but the most important is to understand what sort of content or what sort of information you want to offer to your prospective customers. All right? Happy selling.